Hello. We made it.
Yay!
We're doing the thing. We can't do Twitch chat right now, but we can always do the apocalypse. So we're just gonna play Apocalypse World.
Yeah!
Hello. Oh no, that
it.
is the dashboard.
Yay!
It's not muted. There we go. It's muted now. Best streamer, NA. This girl. But yeah, welcome. This is the premiere of Apocalypse World Countdown. The reason for the name will be made clear shortly. But first, let's talk about the lovely people here and the lovely game that we're going to be playing. And probably a content warning after that. But let's start with introductions, starting with the ineffable Britt Wiseman.
Hello, it's me, Britt Wiseman. As usual, in real life and on the internet, and in this game, I don't know who I'm playing yet. So that's me. I play D&D with Naja on Wednesdays on this very channel. And all of my intros and outros are always awkward and not well thought out before they come out of my mouth. So that is my intro. Welcome to the show. Who's next?
Tara.
Yeah, we did that intro like a third grade book report.
Damn, could you hold the shade? Can we get through?
I feel like if you're gonna shade me for all of this shit, like we're never gonna get through this show.
I'm getting it out of the way early. Now it's done.
Andrew is savage. Tara.
Hi, I'm Tara, otherwise known as Inspector Beans. I have no idea what to say. I am really excited about playing I can't even speak anymore. Apocalypse World. What other information would you like us to give, Tris? Would you like what do we do and stuff, or like what would you like?
Yeah, you stream sometimes. You design games.
Yeah, so I do game design, a lot of 2D illustration and artwork, and I'm currently working on independent projects at the moment, but I really like politics and like critical games and stuff like that. And that's what I do.
Yeah, that's why you're perfect for Apocalypse World. Shade Master Andrew.
That's me. I don't know, I do this show and some other shows very much like it, and I'm also in the process of developing my own game. It's like a magical girl anime tabletop role-playing game. And I recently gutted it and I'm totally reworking it. And it's one of those kind of projects. So it's slow going.
It's so good.
It is. It was really fun to play it. And last but not least, Kelsa.
Hello, I'm Kelsa. I play role-playing games on the internet a lot. I'm currently involved in 6 streams a week. Where I play some sort of role-playing game or run some sort of role-playing game. So it's just a little bit. I also occasionally stream getting salty at Overwatch. Whenever I happen to be doing that.
And then I'm Trist. I'm the MC. I'm wearing my bathrobe because it's cold as shit in my apartment. And the building controls the heat, so this is what I'm doing to combat that. So that's neither here nor there. When I'm not wearing my bathrobe and playing the Apocalypse World, I'm wearing my bathrobe and playing D&D, or I'm wearing my bathrobe and playing Blades in the Dark. But today we're in the post-apocalypse. Apocalypse World is a game by Vincent Baker. No, yes.
By D. Vincent Baker and Meg Baker.
Yes, Andrew is here because they are the expert on this game. And I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're going to figure it out together. That's kind of how I like to learn how to GM. Apocalypse World First Edition is the first game I ever GM'd, and it's nice for me to be returning to my roots in the second edition. So, a lot of people from Misscliks in particular might be coming to this from D&D. Apocalypse World is more of a narratively driven game, not as combat focused. There's going to be a lot of NPC player interaction, but not necessarily like an hour-long session of shooting. each other, it's a different game, not this game. I'm also doing a shit job at explaining it. But you'll see when we play. The other key thing about Apocalypse World that I should get out there is that Apocalypse World can go to weird and uncomfortable places, and as a group we have talked about things that we don't want to deal with in the game and that we're not going to go near. But as an audience, you should just be aware that sometimes Apocalypse World gets a little too real. And yeah. But as players, we know that we can just talk to each other and say, could we like not do this thing that's like really upsetting me right now? And then we'll just move away from it. It's fine. Yeah, so this particular campaign of Apocalypse World, we need to first start with the world and what our apocalypse is going to look like. I have a very like small, like my small contribution is I have this image of like a bombed out Times Square with all of the advertisement screens everywhere. But they're all broadcasting like 24-hour cable news counting down to like the end of the world, and they're constantly rebroadcasting that.
The like last day or whatever.
Yeah, just keeps rolling. So it's like that kind of alarmist media thing that we have now. But
that we love
as
so much.
yeah, but as players, it's just been like the same warnings you've been broadcasting your entire life. So you're kind of over it. But in the background, there's just all these alarms and warnings and tickers going down constantly. So that's all I have. But I'm interested to hear what the rest of you as players will be interested in for apocalypsing. Anybody can volunteer any ideas that they have.
Oh, well, I'm curious, like you say, it is within our lifetime. Is there anyone still alive who remembers before the apocalypse, or has it been so long that there isn't? Or is there just strangely no one older than 25 or something like that?
That's interesting. What do you guys think? What sounds interesting to you guys?
I like it when the apocalypse is sufficiently far in the past that it is outside of living memory.
Okay.
But that's just me. I don't know.
I like that too.
I like that.
Okay.
I like the idea that like there's not really any straightforward information that we can get about it from anyone. We just know that this is the way that things are.
So my question would be, do you guys do you even have any context for this constant broadcast, or is this just something that just is?
I mean, I imagine people would be able to figure out that it was from like a time before, but they wouldn't know like necessarily that it was referring to like the end of the world, because the only world they've known is this one. Then they might think that that's what it is always like in the past, that there were always these alarmist broadcasts. Who knows? Maybe that was just another day.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, is it specifying what the countdown is to? I mean, is it like end of days? What is it? Like, what's the information given on the countdown?
I think it's not that clear, actually. Like, it's something
There's
you should be
like allusions to things, but they never really like specifically.
Like, it's gonna happen, or we have a critical update about this thing, and there's like this big graphic, and it's like there are no updates at this time. Like,
circumstances are continuing to develop in the ongoing crisis of like,
it's just
panel talk where they
all of those
words.
All of those not saying anything when they say things. Yeah.
Feel
it.
You might be able to tell I have a bone to pick with 24-hour cable news that's going to come out in this game. This is going to be completely
really feel.
So there's really no context for the things that are broadcast.
And people don't necessarily like live in the city center anymore as well, right? Like,
especially not with that message blaring all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of a hostile or uncomfortable environment.
I mean, is there a reason why no one has disabled this thing?
Ooh,
Or just no one cares and no one's around, so it just...
What if like people have developed a ritual around it? Like now people gather around the center like when it actually counts down, and they like have turned it into some bizarre, totally removed ritual.
I could see
like that.
weird post-apocalyptic cults developing around the broadcasts for sure. Or like people who think that who like interpret the broadcasts like an oracle.
Yeah.
Ooh. So broadcast cults. I think the center of the city is probably like a hostile environment, but there are people that choose to live there. Maybe they're like broadcast cult crazies. Maybe
So
they're
they
dangerous.
chose to stay because they're still waiting to see what happens or something.
Yeah, there might be people that live there. Whether or not your characters are part of that or you're outside of that, we can decide later.
But it's kind of a bad idea, it seems like, to live there.
I think it makes you kind of special, like kind of like too much exposure. It's just known that too much exposure is maybe not great.
It is known. I see. I was thinking something really weird, like the people in the cult just like, if you continue to just watch the broadcast every day, like it hypnotizes you into you only remember that day and going through it for the first time.
So like they do a Groundhog Day kind of like ritual. They kind of just like say the same thing over.
It's like a way to connect yourself to the past, but in this really narrow and limited way.
Yeah, but then you forget why you did it because you only remember the now.
Oh, that's cool.
I like the idea too, maybe that they like protect all the screens that are counting down because they believe that if they're turned off, then that's when
like
the actual end will occur or something.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that.
Definitely. And of course, there has to be an opposing faction that believes that if they stop the countdown, then everything will get better.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting. And then I'm just making a note that there are screen stoppers, and that's not what they're going to be called, but that's what it is for now.
I like that name.
I do too.
So
yeah, bagging screen stopper.
The rainbow wheels of death.
It's outside of the city, though.
Yeah. Where are scarcities?
Yeah, and also, do we want to do the like blasted wasteland, like there's no food, there's no water kind of apocalypse, or do we want the tension to be coming from something else?
Yeah,
and
I guess
some
like,
of
what
that
kind of apocalypse was this?
some of that gets defined by the playbooks we choose as well. Like if someone plays a driver or if someone plays a water bearer or a heart holder or whatever, then that can inform the like playbooks are like the classes or the like character types in the game, and so they give the players authorship over the types of things that exist in the world because you insert them into it by choosing that that playbook and choosing the options on it. So like that could be something that we could start tossing around as well.
Yeah, I think definitely we want to, at this point, look at what our scarcities are and what kinds of playbooks you guys are thinking about. I like the idea of toying around with a like scarcity of like truth or information. Bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry, I tried to mute, but I failed.
Okay, as long as you don't die, that's what really matters. But I like the idea of like a scarcity of like facts.
I think that's really cool. I love that.
I also another question I have is like what tech level are we looking at? Like what was the tech level before the apocalypse and how I mean, full disclosure, I'm considering being a savvy head. Like, so I want to know about like, are we talking like 2017 level tech that then was destroyed and now we've got some weird hodgepodge of stuff that you can put together but it doesn't all work? The screens on the TVs work for some reason, or was it like further in the future or further in the past before the apocalypse hit?
Yeah, is this the apocalypse of the 80s or is this the apocalypse of now?
I think it's the apocalypse, like it's a contemporary apocalypse, because I like the image of Times Square I have is like a very,
Like contemporary.
yeah, like that over, like over, like there's a word I'm trying to think of that I can't. It's like overexposed, but like overloaded information, like you get like kicked in the face with screens and stuff and words and sounds when you go to Times Square.
Yeah, there's just something on every surface, right? Trying to get
Yeah.
your attention.
Nerps.
Media saturation.
That's
Yes.
what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to
Thank
say.
you.
Media saturation.
It's a good word. I like it.
So is it kind of like a techno dystopia right now? Like, do we like, so there are people that repurpose the tech and then people that stand staunchly against tech as like the reasons why the earth fell?
It might not be, it might be that that's the situation now, but nobody knows why things got fucked. But currently some people are like, these broadcasts here to save us, and people are like, no, let it go, bust out screens. And maybe there's some people that are like, I literally just want to make sure I wake up tomorrow. Fuck all the rest of this.
How adapted have people become to this environment? I mean, are people still struggling? I mean, it's been a while, so have they kind of like figured it out?
It's always a struggle because that's the game. People are always struggling.
Yeah, there's no comfortable.
There's no one's come up with any comfortable answer to what's going on.
I think people have grown up, like they were born into this and they've grown up that way, but it's still like it's gonna be a struggle every day.
But there's no, I mean, so if a lot of them, I guess, have grown up, like, is there hope for change, or is there just understanding that this is the world and you got to live in it?
I think the standard, and you guys can, change this if you want. I think the standard is that there's not really an understanding of what better would even look like.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
it's just survival mode for everyone, right? Like,
yeah,
okay.
the day is as far ahead as you plan, and then what makes the player characters important is that they are people who can actually work for something above and beyond that day-to-day struggle if they live long enough.
It's a critical thing. So yeah, does anybody, so I know Kelsa said Savvy Head, which, as for those that don't know, the Savvy Head is a mechanic, but also can tap into there's a psychic maelstrom. I didn't mention there's this psychic maelstrom of like hate and sadness that's just kind of ambient around you all the time. And the Savvy Head can tap into that via inanimate objects. There's a better description, but I need to find it. So I know Kelsa's thinking Savvy Head. I know Andrew wants to play something weird because it's Andrew.
You don't know me. You don't know what I'm capable of.
Does anybody else have ideas of like what sorts of people?
I was thinking Hocus.
And Tara?
I was thinking Angel.
Oh my god, I was thinking you were gonna say that.
You don't know me?
But clearly I do.
Yes.
So the Hocus, for our audience, the Hocus is the cult leader. They have a group of people, cultists, that they are both in charge of and simultaneously beholden to. And your cult allows you to do things, but also like cause hell problems everywhere they go for you and everyone around you. That's kind of your jam. And then the angel is the medic, and can help people, can heal people. But if things are, for whatever bizarre reason, going well, you might not have a lot to do. In which case, you should, I don't know, fuck some shit up and be like, oh, I can fix this. Whatever.
Or have something else on the go. Side gig, side hustle.
Yeah. Make sure you're like connected to other players so that you always have like something to do. And then Shade Master Andrew. What are your thoughts?
I was thinking of playing maybe the Child Thing or the News, which are from the like extended playbooks. The Child Thing would be cool if I could actually be someone's kid. So I kind of throw that up to the three of you. Any of you are interested in having a
what about my grandchild?
Or whatever. You like I'm like
play an old woman savvy head because I thought that would be interesting.
Yeah, like, and I don't have to like be your kid that you gave birth to or whatever, but just like your adopted kid. Like, so I kind of would attach myself to one of the other characters. And the thing that is interesting about the Child Thing is that they are, whereas all the other characters are very much still human beings in the apocalypse, the Child Thing is kind of this like, it's that person who is actually adapted to the world after it's ended, but they're also being hunted by the wolves of the Maelstrom, which you get to detail what that is, which is fun as well. So
I'd adopt you. I don't know.
Okay. The other option I was thinking was the News, which would be really fun and topical because their whole thing is about, you know, informing people about what's actually going on and trying to be this like rabble-rousing person with a cause who believes that like they can actually change the world through the distribution of information.
Could you be both?
I mean, you could be one and turn into the other, I suppose.
That sounds cool. Well, Rogers did say the big focus was on media stuff for some of the show, so that could be really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see either one fitting in. So I guess the idea is, or I guess the question would be, how are you guys relating to each other? Like, are you all part of Britt's character's cult? Are you like where is the Savvy Heads workshop? Is that like a location that everybody's based around? Like what's, because you all know each other, and then at the outset at least you're not openly trying to kill each other.
We are all basically allies at the beginning of the game.
Basically allies.
So I guess the question would be like, what's the overarching relation?
I mean, I would like to know more about this cult before I sign up for it, but I am.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this cult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the cult is, I guess, based on the stuff that I read on the character sheet, I kind of would consider them my scene. So I kind of consider them my friends who I give helpful guidance to. And then, you know, I make sure that they have a good time and they like to party and destroy things. And they really resent people who kind of have hope or faith in like a better future. They're kind of like party until they die because things are really shitty. So they like to have fun and they like to meet new people, and they are destructive. And they're
so
a little,
like nihilist party cult.
They're kind of like a nihilist party cult that's a little. They can be really nice, but they're also, you know, resentful of people who sort of are trying to go beyond what they believe is really useless efforts in life, I guess.
I definitely would be attached to that just because, like, clearly if you're doing damage, there's the potential to do damage to yourselves, which would allow me to actually, I don't know, do medical.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have you in my cult. You could sort of be in my scene and help make sure that people don't die.
Yeah, that seems cool. I'd be down with that. A nihilist medic seems like my jam.
I mean, just as much drug dealer as medic, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down. Seems good to me.
Like, oh, you feeling pain? Here, have this acid. Now you're better.
Hey, have you guys tried running through a wall lately? I hear that's totally awesome.
Nice.
I feel like I'm like more cult adjacent. Like you come to like I'm looking at my playbook and thinking about what I'm taking here. I feel like on a strange note, you come to me for advice because I'm planning on taking oftener right, which when you come to me for advice and I give you an honest opinion, if you follow my course of action, you get +1 when you do stuff. And I get experience for it. So it's pretty sweet all the way around.
Well, you're like technology related too, so you could kind of help us find like more and more intense and interesting ways to like live out our useless days on this earth.
Yeah, no, like, and I feel like I don't really believe in your cult, but you guys are some of my best customers.
I could see you as like a toy maker of sorts. Where like the cult is like, we need a new thing that's fun, and you make it, and then they're like, well, okay, we broke that, we need something else.
No, totally. Yeah. Like I feel that. I totally feel that. Thinking, yeah, I feel it. Awesome. So I'm also willing to adopt your child thing if that's the route you're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the child.
And you're it's up to you. Fight if you want to be attached to my character or
no pressure. No pressure.
No, I think it's imagining like the people in the cult necessarily like caring for other people in that way of like that it requires to raise a kid. So I'm gonna attach myself to Kelsa's character because she's more grounded.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna be in the cult though, so there's that.
Yeah, and I mean the cult's not gonna like no one's gonna murder you, but you know, no one's gonna like go out of their way to risk their life to save you either.
They seem like the kind of people who would forget to eat or feed someone in their care. Or
yeah, I mean they're cool, but they should be given like a pet or a child, right?
Yeah, and I mean I'll just hang out with them all the time, so that's cool.
Yeah.
You like hang out with them, but then you still come home to me.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I like that. Yeah, because I like the idea of like teaching a child to be a destructive nihilist. Like I really love that. I love that. I mean, like, come hang out. We'll show you how to. You've got so many years left in your life. Maybe. Let us show you how to have a good time with whatever you have left.
So, okay, so we have our playbooks. Brit's cult seems to be the center of things. Do you guys move around, or do you have like a hideout? Are you in like some hard hold?
I mean, well, Kelsey, do you have a workshop that's stationary? So we probably shouldn't move around too much. We should kind of just like.
I think it's stationary. I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Make a mobile one. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are we in the city? Because if there is a mall nearby, like an abandoned mall, my cult would like love to just live in that mall.
I like the idea of being outside of the city. So like the city is a place that we can go into, but we're not like always in that.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like we're kind of doing this other thing than like worshiping or fighting over the TVs and like getting.
Yeah, I mean, are there abandoned like suburban neighborhoods? Can we live in like abandoned houses that have like family photos hanging above the fireplace that we just like live in, and we just take over like a neighborhood or something?
You could have like a couple blocks of like my brain is saying copy pasta houses. Subdivision.
Yeah, totally.
Subdivision is the word. But you could have like some ruined.
I like copy pasta houses much better than subdivision.
Because they are.
My character.
I live in a copy pasta house, so.
Yeah, I'm totally calling them copy pasta.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, like an old ruined subdivision, and like there's all these things like the mailbox. Some mailboxes are still there, and like nobody knows what the fuck those are for. why there are like boxes on posts outside of the houses. Like a fire
Maybe
hydrant that doesn't
something
work, and you're
there.
just like, what is this sculpture?
Maybe that's like if I go to see Kels's character and get new toys, like I leave them in people's mailboxes for them to come find in their mailbox, like leave little bombs or guns or something for them, like and give them gifts sometimes.
Yeah, it's like totally repurposed. Yeah, so you guys are in like a ruined subdivision. What's the climate? Is it cold, hot? Is it like a frigid, frozen situation?
I don't know. I always feel like I want things to be warm, but that's just because I'm like in Canada.
Same though.
I like maybe desert things, so it's like hot during the day and then really cold at night.
Oh yeah. Okay, I feel that.
So like California or like
Arizona.
Yeah, like lots of places are like that.
many, yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Okay, so like a desert climate, is water a problem?
Not particular, like not more than food. Like they're equal problems. I like to think.
So like the faucets aren't working, or are they? Is that water safe? Do you even know? Do you care?
Can't imagine there is safe drinking water still coming out of the taps unless something real weird is going on.
Yeah, I don't think the taps work.
I would imagine maybe like part of the way you join the cult is that you have to bring like drinkable water. Because I'm assuming people are kind of like coming from different places, because if we're so destructive and not really worried about our livelihood, we're probably dying off like at a faster rate than normal. And I'm assuming that, like my character would probably kind of, if there is a way to like publicize that this is our group, then I'm kind of trying to pass it on by word of mouth or whatever, so people know that when they come to join the neighborhood, they need to bring like a certain amount of bottled water, potable water with them, and they need to bring a certain amount of supplies. And if they bring the supplies, then they can join.
So it sounds like then water is a scarcity.
Would it?
Yes.
I mean, yes. I assume if we're in a desert, it doesn't really make sense for us to be like, there's a fountain.
Yeah, like it sounds like water is something that people lack unless they go out of their way to get it. Like you don't take it for granted.
We could like do raids on Central Park. Central Park has the last water supply.
Oh, I bet Central Park is super dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so drinking water definitely.
Yeah, is there a lake in the park that we have to go to like get water from?
It's like
or like certain people in the community go and do that, and that's how they make their living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Water raiders. Okay, so living space isn't a thing. Storage space is fine. Does your cult do drugs? Question mark.
It's not allowed. I'm not like encouraging everyone to do a bunch of drugs, but I'm also not telling people not to do drugs. I kind of just don't care whether you do drugs or not. And I think my character's personal opinion is that like if drugs make the damage and destruction and the party more fun, then do them. But don't ruin someone else's time with your drugs. Like, don't overdose on heroin and like make us have to deal with your shit. Like, that's not cool. So it's like, do drugs, but don't make it anyone's problem.
So you don't have like, or maybe you do have addicts, but as long as they don't get in the way of anybody else.
If there are addicts that like are stealing or like causing problems, then they get booted. They're gone. You leave them in the park or something. Like,
oh, you leave them in the park.
Like they're done. Like not dealing with that shit, because the whole point is to just enjoy our shitty lives until they're over. So if someone's going to ruin that, we can't have that in the neighborhood.
So definitely, for our angel, where do you think you're getting your supplies?
I was thinking about that. I bet there's like a strip mall somewhere nearby that I can like do raids, like get supplies from time to time. But I definitely have to partner a lot with the cult. Like I have to use the like overzealous, super happy cult members to help me go and do stuff like that. Because a lot of the areas that I get my stuff from are probably super dangerous. Like Central Park, I need tons of water if I want to like treat people well.
Well, I think like I would probably want to be like us to be on good terms because I don't want you giving too many drugs to people. I want you helping me like, you know, not just sell all of the drugs. So maybe you kind of help me control like people getting addicted to ODing, and in return, I kind of promote you to them.
Yeah, like do I have like do we barter, or is it just like we just like have an agreement?
I feel like it's more of just like an understanding, like don't kill people and I'll let you like do your business here and we're good and you can help people, you know.
It sounds like your cult is very like lackadaisical, doesn't know or care what's going on, but you as a hocus know exactly what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you've definitely like you're like, oh yeah, you know, party, and then you turn and you're like, okay, if this motherfucker does this one more time, we're gonna drag his ass out to the park. Like it sounds like you're very like clear-minded about.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm kind of like I think from my character's perspective, it's like I don't believe that life has meaning anymore, but that doesn't mean that I think people should suffer. So it's kind of like my cause is to sort of help people enjoy what they have left. If that makes sense.
How do you guys stay cool and warm at night?
Well, it sounds like we have access to a lot of shelter, right? So it's mostly like finding shelter in one of the houses at night.
Just staying indoors during the day and I don't know,
Yeah, you
bundling
can
up.
come out at dawn and at dusk, like in the in-between times, and then outside of that, you need to like hunker down.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are like certain periods of the day where it's like top peak like heat and maybe radiation or something like that. We don't know.
We just don't go outside during that time.
Or if you need to go outside during that time, you take some drugs that help you forget how hot it is and hope you don't die.
So definitely drinking water is an issue. Food probably also. Like somebody has to go somewhere maybe dangerous to obtain that.
Yeah, or it's a lot of work to grow it, and growing it makes you vulnerable to being attacked by other people who don't want to spend the time to grow it. Always a classic one.
Are there still animals?
Please, yes.
Yeah, do we want to do the whole like deer in Central Park kind of vibe? Where they're like...
Oh, there's like a feral wilderness in Central Park.
Yes.
Maybe that's why nobody goes there, because...
I mean, there are like actual legit predators in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe sometimes the cult, like we go out on like drug-fueled hunting parties to get like a random animal, like a buffalo or a bear.
Are all of these animals that we would recognize today? Or are there different animals?
That is a good question.
I mean, was there any... I mean, were there any nuclear issues like when the apocalypse happened? Are there any like weird
nobody
or, like, biochemical warfare or any number of other ways that things could get all weird?
Not only does nobody know what happened, but if the animals are different, nobody would know that that's not what was.
That's true. We'd have no way of knowing.
But as players,
it's not like finding like that book meant for children, like the like with the animal sounds, and
Cow
each
goes
animal
moo.
starts with the name of whatever, and then could happen.
Yeah, like you have one of those little books where you pull the ripcord and it like spins to an animal and says like the cow goes moo, but it's all like broken and distorted, so it's just like the cow goes.
And who knows? Maybe animals actually make that noise.
Love it.
Yeah, random like weird antelope that communicate in like modem sounds.
Of course.
Yeah,
That
and
could
I
be
would
a
assume
thing.
that like we would go to Kelsa to ask her to help us make traps.
Oh, totally.
Like really sick traps to catch the animals to eat.
Kelsa, where do you get your supplies?
Aha! So I've been looking at my workspace,
I'm glad.
and one of my choices is a junkyard of raw materials, and I just live in this junkyard.
Nice.
So that's where I get most of my supplies. When I need something archaic or specific, we may have to go on a little raid. But I think that I have just most of what I could possibly need in the junkyard. Most of.
Interesting. I have thoughts. Okay. So we've talked about scarcities. We've talked about the world. If we want to flesh out the world further, we need to flesh out Jan characters.
So chat's not working, but my brother keeps messaging me, and I like this. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's not for me, but this is the best. The cow goes like you suggested, and so you just call the giant mechanical spiders cows.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Oh my god, chat!
Oh my god, chat. Hi, chat.
Hi, chat.
Hi, chat.
Time to host everything super
Hi,
fucking
chat.
late.
We missed you.
Hi, chat. Join my cult.
Oh no, the cult of chat. This is the worst.
Oh god, Twitch chat
Why would
cult.
you do this?
I have detailed some of my Child Thing stuff. If we want to start with me.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's because I think Beans, you played once before, right? I know I definitely want to make sure that you are going through the character sheet. Not that I don't trust you, but also I just don't want to let you like.
There is
flail.
a procedure.
Yes, there is a procedure. Sorry, I'm hosting everything because chat works.
I have also hosted.
Okay, got my shit together. So
And may or may not have dorkily printed off the like character sheet and stuff with like the things on the back. So I know.
It's good. That's dedication.
yes, but also we have Jan roll 20 sheets.
Yay.
Tara's like, yes, roll 20 sheets.
Forgetting about the magic of the internet.
Yes, we are on the internet, and paper is lovely, and I also have mini papers, but also we need to keep things in roll 20 so that I can look at it later. So if you go into roll 20, Tara, are you able to find the character sheet labeled Tara? Okay, so the very first thing is picking your class, and then you want to check lock unlock class to lock it in.
Okay.
Using if you have your PDF, you can look at, or if you print it off your character sheet, which is helpful, you can look at your character sheet. There's some suggestions for names. If you'd like, you can leave name to the very end, or if you have one in mind. Any thoughts on that, Tara?
I think boo is good, but I put like boo and then a space and then T because I thought I looked at the sheet and it kind of cracked me up that it was like boo T. Sorry.
That could totally be a name.
I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
It could totally, because nobody ever says it as one word. It's always boo T.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. And like nobody
so
understands
good.
why that might be weird. Like literally nobody gets it. They're just like, oh, that's boo tea. Yeah, boo tea will fix you up.
Totally fine.
Totally fine. I actually need to get the copy of the character sheet. That is that one. Haha. Okay, so for your look, um, there should be yes. So if you go to the part that has the angel kit that details the angel kit on the other side of that landscape piece of paper, there's a thing that says look. So are you man, woman, ambiguous, transgressing, or concealed?
Ooh. Woman.
Okay. So mark that down. I'm not sure if it's on the Roll20 sheet
It's okay.
anywhere.
I have
but
it
just
marked
make a
down.
note.
I can do both.
Nice. Okay, so for your look, there's 4 sets of descriptors. Pick one from each category.
Ooh. What is scrounge wear?
You
just wear
found
whatever
it,
you found.
and you put it on.
Okay, so clearly scrounge wear plus utility, because amazing. Lively face.
Mm-hmm.
Hard eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Spare body. Interesting. I go with spare body because I'm not sure. I like that it's like a flexible interpretation. Okay.
So I have this idea of like a thin woman in like oversized, randomly assembled clothes. That seems very cheerful, but if you look at the eyes, it's like, yeah,
Dead
I'm
on
really
the
nice, but
inside.
I will fucking cut you.
Yes.
Which is
Like,
what
dead on the inside.
angels are all about. Really
Totally.
nice, but I will fucking cut you.
Yes.
So you need to choose a stat line from the options given. No mix and match. And all the other players are either following along or they did this already. Yeah, Andrew, I know you're super advanced.
Yeah, I did it.
So I choose
I'm not
Andrew
just
as
a-
that.
So Reddy's eating instead.
Yeah, so and we should go over
I
perhaps.
think weird is appealing.
Yeah, let me look at
You want to do a quick description of
what the stats even mean, because
what do these even mean, Trist?
like, well, you got these 5 words, associate some numbers with these words, and we'll move on. No. Stats. So the stats in this game are cool, hard, hot, sharp, weird. Cool meaning cool under fire, rational, clear thinking, calm, calculating, unfazed. You roll cool to do something under fire. Hard meaning hard-hearted, violent, aggressive, strong-willed, mean, physically and emotionally strong. Roll hard to go aggro on someone. Hot meaning fucking hot. Attractive, subtle, gracious, sexy, beautiful, inspiring, exciting. Roll hot to seduce or manipulate someone. Sharp, meaning sharp witted, clever, alert, smart, perceptive, educated, skilled, trained. Roll sharp to read a person or read a situation. Weird, meaning a weirdo. Psychic, genius, uncanny, lucky, strange, prophetic, touched. Roll weird to open your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom. And then there's also hex, but we'll get to hex later. So, given those brief descriptors and given the options you have for stat lines, pick one and fill it in on the sheet, if you please. And let me know when you've gotten that far. Also, hi chat. I'm so glad you're here. I miss you. Also, I see your super hot memes, and I'm into it. I feel you. Okay, I'm seeing some numbers.
Did I do it right? I think I did it right.
Yes. Let's see. So you chose the third one.
Yeah.
The only thing, don't put plus signs in for positive numbers because that'll fuck up all the macros.
Cool.
But do put in negative signs for negative numbers.
Yes.
Because negative numbers are a thing.
It'll be like, I don't know how to roll plus plus. I don't understand what you want me to do. Okay.
Computers are so dumb.
Computers can only do what we tell them to do in the language we give them for understanding what we want. It's very sad for them, actually, if you think about it. It's like, I want to understand you, but you made me stupid. Anywho, moving on. So we need to, I think you go moves before gear, question mark?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as an angel, you get all the basic moves that everybody gets. You also choose 2 angel moves. So you don't have to go through that now. We're going to do character introductions once we get through this. But pick 2.
Okay.
You can copy from the PDF into your sheet on Roll20.
Cool.
And let me know when you're good on that. Sorry, I'm shitposting in chat. Things I do when I'm running games. See, you've got 1. While we're doing this, I should also take a moment to mention about the lack of status quo in this game, just as a rule. You guys are going to start with things, and you'll never lose something that's completely intrinsic to your character, but it's definitely a vulnerability. Like I mentioned right at the beginning, if you have a cult, your cult is going to be a fucking problem repeatedly.
Great.
The workshop is going to be a site of some friction. The junkyard is definitely going to be a problem. And just like, if you're like, I have this thing, I'm like, cool, this thing is going to stab you in the back eventually. Just know that.
Sweet.
Or let you down right when you need it most. Or
Yeah.
break.
Your break, or somebody will come because they want it and like shoot you, or it's like secretly an agent of something else, or I don't know. It's just, things are unreliable in general.
Or if you choose the child thing playbook, it's just like make something that is straight up hunting you and trying to eat you.
Yes.
So there's that.
I love when things are trying to eat me. No, wait.
Literal monsters under the bed. Except there's no beds because it's the apocalypse. Oh well. Okay, I see some moves in there for you. Tara, are you ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay, so gear. You get, I think, everything from the top. Yes, you get your angel kit. It doesn't come with the supplier. 1 small practical weapon, and you can say like what that is. That could be a thing you detail during your introduction later. Oddments worth 2 barter. Barter is just kind of an abstraction of like currency. When you need to pay for things, you use a unit of barter. And in terms of what that looks like. It could be like something shiny, something useful. The details of it aren't as important as you just keeping track of how much barter you have, especially because you guys have to pay for your lifestyle. So if you have no barter and we start a session, it's like, well, you're starving, um, unless somebody else pays for you. So just be aware that barter is something that you need. And then you get fashion suitable to your look, including at your option a piece worth 1 armor. So this could be like you have a pair of like teal galoshes. You have a ratty doctor's coat that you found somewhere. You have like just one like iconic piece. Like if somebody sees this piece, it's like, oh, that's booty.
Awesome.
So, and if you choose, it can give you 1 armor too. But you could also choose to not have that armor. And then you have to choose for your small practical weapon. You choose from this list. You could have a revolver, a 9mm, a big knife, a sawed-off shotgun, or a stun gun. These things have tags that are important in a fictional sense. They're not like mechanized in the way like D&D weapon descriptors would be, but it helps like fictional positioning and narrative. So like if you have a revolver, it's close range. You have to reload it in between shots, and it's loud as shit. So if you're like trying to sneakily off somebody and you miss your shot, this is not the gun that you want in that situation, because you're going to have to take time to reload it, get really close to them, and it's really fucking loud. So like these are things that'll come into play and influence the narrative around you.
So like if I choose the big knife, like I hurt myself in the process from hand?
No, hand
Okay.
just means it's like
Okay.
That's the range.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like I couldn't even use a knife right, and so like I'm a terrible doctor. Like my scalpel just like I'm just like
No.
Yeah, so some of the tags are about like the limitations of it, like far or close or hand. Some of them are like messy, which is that, you know, like you'll hurt the person you're trying to hurt, but you might also hurt people you're not. Stuff like that.
Thank you.
And then I think that is it until we do
So
hacks.
I have a question
Go on.
about my personal fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I want a shawl knit out of inexplicably glowing wire.
Or was it like fiber optic cable or something?
Yeah, like fiber optic cable knit into a shawl that glows without a discernible power source.
I'm into cyberpunk, Rainy. Like I see nothing
Brilliant.
wrong with that.
Cool. Okay. I think that's a really good distinction for my character. So I'm taking it.
Does anybody else have questions? I know we need to detail your cult. Like they have some tags. Britt,
Mm-hmm.
do you need help like going through that? What those mean?
Possibly. Well, I mean, I think I understand, but I'm not entirely positive that I've read and understood everything correctly. So
I have another question while you're thinking about that.
yeah, go ahead.
So it also says if I'd like to start playing with a vehicle or prosthetic, get with the MC. So I was thinking, as far as a vehicle, like I don't have a specific vehicle, but I have a junkyard that's full of vehicles that I could get one of them to work long enough for any particular session, but like it's never going to be the same one, and it might break down randomly.
I think mechanically it would be better if you had like a go-to so that the tags are consistent for it.
Okay, that's fair too.
Like you have other cars, but there's one that works.
Gotcha.
And if it breaks, you can like you have backup cars to get parts from, but there's one that works.
All right, I like it. I like that.
So yeah, we can talk about the car. Britt, any like cult things that you want to talk about right now? or do you want to hit that later?
I mean, I guess we can just hit it when I do the character stuff because it feels like it kind of all ties
Yeah.
in together.
I need to ask questions about
Yeah.
who's in this cult. But yeah, we'll definitely do that. It sounds like we are at the character introduction hex part, so we are going to take a quick break. Thank you guys for coming by for our premiere and the creation.
Yay, chat! Cult of
Yay, chat!
And chat loves cat.
Yeah, thank you for being here for while we detail this fucked up space that we're going to be playing in for the next few weeks. And we will be back in about 5 minutes. See you then.
Woo!